The heavy rain fell relentlessly over Chicago, drenching its busy streets and cloaking the city in a misty haze. Cars splashed through puddles, and pedestrians struggled under the weight of soaked umbrellas. Among them was Michael Lawson, a self-made entrepreneur known for his precision and focus. Every aspect of his day was meticulously planned, with no room for distractions or delays. Michael was en route to the airport, mindfully rehearsing the details of an important business meeting. His success as the CEO of one of the city's largest financial firms depended on moments like these, where perfection was the only acceptable outcome. Emotions, he believed, were a liability in his world of strategy and calculation. Yet, that day, fate had other plans. As his sleek black sedan idled at a traffic light, Michael's gaze wandered to the corner of the street. There, a young woman stood huddled in the rain, cradling a baby against her chest. Her coat was visibly worn and soaked through, and her thin frame shivered under the weight of her struggle. A handmade sign rested at her feet, scrawled with uneven letters, "Please help us. We need food and shelter." Michael stared for a moment longer than he intended, a flicker of recognition tugging at his memories. He had been in her shoes once, many years ago. Before the money, the reputation, and the fortress he had built around himself, Michael had known hunger and desperation. He quickly pushed the thought aside as the light turned green, but something in him hesitated. He glanced in his rearview mirror, watching the woman adjust the baby's blanket, her expression a mix of exhaustion and fierce determination. The storm outside mirrored the storm within him. Before he could overthink, he rolled down the window and motioned for her to approach. "Hey," he called out firmly, but not unkindly. "Get in." The woman hesitated, clutching the baby tighter as she assessed the stranger offering her refuge. Desperation won out over caution, and she slid into the back seat. The warmth of the car's heater washed over her, but her trembling didn't cease entirely. Michael noticed and adjusted the settings, casting a glance at her through the rearview mirror. "What's your name?" he asked, his tone softer now. "Emma," she replied quietly. "And this is my daughter, Lily." Michael nodded, saying nothing more as he turned the car around. The airport and his meticulously planned schedule could wait. He drove toward his mansion, a place designed for grandeur but devoid of warmth. The grand house loomed ahead, its modern architecture and sprawling grounds exuding wealth. Emma's eyes widened as the car came to a stop, but she remained silent, unsure of what to expect. Michael handed her the house key, his expression unreadable. "Stay here. Use whatever you need. I'll be back tomorrow," he said curtly. Emma's hands trembled as she accepted the key, murmuring a soft, "Thank you." Michael didn't linger. He returned to his car, speeding away toward the airport, but the image of Emma and her child lingered in his mind, unsettling his usual focus. Inside the mansion, Emma was overwhelmed by its sheer opulence. Every corner seemed untouched, as though the house had been built for appearances rather than living. Yet for her, it was a sanctuary, a safe place, even if only temporary. She laid Lily on a plush sofa, marveling at how her daughter's face lit up in delight. The child's giggles echoed through the vast, empty space, bringing an unexpected warmth to the house. Later, as Emma explored, she found the kitchen stocked with fresh ingredients. Hunger gnawed at her, but she hesitated, feeling out of place in such luxury. Finally, she prepared a simple meal, savoring each bite as a rare indulgence. For the first time in months, she felt human again. When Michael returned earlier than planned, the house felt different. Laughter, soft and joyful, greeted him as he entered. Following the sound, he found Emma playing with Lily in the living room. The sight stopped him in his tracks. Emma's face, once marked by exhaustion, now glowed with genuine joy. Lily's laughter filled the air as Emma animatedly moved a stuffed toy. Michael watched from the doorway, feeling an unfamiliar warmth stir within him. Sensing his presence, Emma looked up, her expression shifting to one of surprise and slight embarrassment. "I didn't expect you back so soon," she said, standing abruptly. Michael shook his head. "Don't stop. You've brought this house to life." His words, uncharacteristically tender, caught Emma off guard. For the first time, Michael saw her relax, her guarded expression softening. The days passed, and Michael found himself drawn to the small family that had taken over his quiet mansion. Yet, as they grew closer, the arrival of an unexpected visitor, Victoria, Michael's former business partner and occasional romantic interest, threatened to unravel the fragile peace. Victoria, sharp and calculating, immediately took note of Emma and Lily. Her disdain was evident, her cutting remarks aimed to sow doubt. For a brief moment, Michael wavered, his old fears resurfacing. But as he watched Emma, the way she cared for Lily with quiet strength and grace, he knew Victoria's words were hollow. Through moments of doubt and reconciliation, Michael realized that Emma and Lily had filled a void he didn't know existed. In their presence, he found not just companionship but purpose. He resolved to let go of his guarded nature and build a future with them. As the sun rose on a new day, Michael knelt before Lily, who reached out to him with innocent affection. Her small hand in his, she said softly, "Are you staying with us, Daddy?" Michael's heart swelled, and for the first time, he embraced the role that life had unexpectedly offered him. "Yes, Lily," he said, his voice steady. "Forever." The morning sun cast a golden glow over the mansion, its light streaming through the tall windows and breathing warmth into the space. The once cold and lifeless house now brimmed with a quiet energy, as though it had found its purpose alongside its inhabitants. Michael Lawson stood in the kitchen, watching Emma gently braid Lily's hair at the dining table. The sound of the little girl's laughter echoed softly, filling the home with a joy Michael had never realized he was missing. In the weeks since he'd opened his door to Emma and Lily, Michael's life had transformed in ways he could not have predicted. His once orderly world, dictated by precision and control, had been turned upside down, not by chaos, but by something far more profound. He had discovered that true success wasn't measured in dollars or accolades, but in the bonds that filled the spaces between people. The mansion, once a symbol of his solitary achievement, had become a haven where love and connection thrived. As Michael sipped his coffee, he reflected on how far they had come. His initial act of compassion, almost impulsive, had been a simple response to a moment of empathy. But that decision had grown into something extraordinary. In Emma, Michael had found resilience and strength, qualities that mirrored his own in ways he never expected. In Lily, he saw innocence and wonder, a reminder that even amidst life's hardships, there is beauty and hope. Their journey hadn't been without its challenges. The arrival of Victoria had stirred doubts and insecurities, threatening to unravel the fragile trust between them. Yet, in the end, it was those very challenges that solidified their bond. Michael had learned to trust not just Emma, but his own instincts and feelings, something he had buried beneath years of corporate pragmatism. The turning point had come when Michael sought the truth about Emma's past, not through judgment but with a genuine desire to understand. The report he received opened his eyes to the depth of her struggles, a promising student robbed of her dreams by tragedy, a single mother fighting to protect her child against all odds. The weight of her journey humbled him, and his regret for doubting her was matched only by his determination to make amends. "I'll be right back, sweetheart," Emma said, her voice gentle as she kissed Lily's forehead and rose from her seat. She moved toward Michael, her steps steady and purposeful. She paused by his side, her eyes meeting his with a warmth that still took him by surprise. "Thank you," she said softly, her voice carrying an emotion that needed no further explanation. Michael smiled, reaching for her hand and holding it firmly. "I should be thanking you," he replied. "You and Lily have given me something I didn't know I needed, a family." Emma's eyes shimmered with unshed tears, and she nodded. It had taken time for her to trust his words, to believe that this wasn't just a temporary kindness, but a real and lasting commitment. Every day, Michael had shown her not just with promises, but with actions, that he was ready to build a future together. The moment was interrupted by Lily's giggle as she peeked at them from the table. "Mommy, are you gonna kiss him?" she teased, her innocent voice cutting through the tenderness with playful mischief. Emma laughed, shaking her head. "Lily," she said, her cheeks flushing with color. Michael chuckled, kneeling down to Lily's level. "You're too smart for your own good," he said, playfully ruffling her hair. Lily beamed, throwing her arms around him in a hug that melted his heart. As the three of them shared that moment, the storm that had once raged in their lives felt like a distant memory. Michael knew there would still be challenges ahead. Life was unpredictable, after all. But for the first time, he felt truly prepared to face them, not as a solitary figure, but as part of something greater. That evening, as they sat together in the living room, Lily fast asleep in Michael's lap, Emma leaned against him, her head resting on his shoulder. The warmth of their connection, the simple joy of being together, was enough to make the sprawling mansion feel like the coziest place in the world. And so, amidst laughter, love, and newfound purpose, they began to write a new chapter of their lives, a story where hope triumphed over hardship, and where the walls of a mansion became the foundation of a home.